Good morning everybody, it's Jenny from Jenny Stitches and welcome back to my channel today. And good morning from a very wet and miserable Barrow-in-Furness in Cumbria. It's definitely feeling like October, isn't it? Autumn has well and truly set in here, and whilst we've got that beautiful carpet of golden leaves, today is definitely one of those wet and sludgy days. So, but it's very nice up here in Studio Stitches. It's lovely and quiet. I've got a lovely hot cup of tea. So what better time than to snuggle up and have a little chat with you about what I'm hoping to be sewing in the next few weeks, maybe a couple of months. Okay. So usually I'd be calling in with a kind of seasonal sewing plans type video, usually based around what's fairly new in the shop. Yeah, I get a lot of shiny object syndrome with new fabrics that are coming in, and I like to showcase new fabrics that are coming in. So usually my sewing plans revolve around all that kind of thing. However, with finishing the renovation work up here and slowly sort of starting to get things sorted out, if you can imagine, there's a lot of cupboards, a lot of boxes, a lot of bags of things that have just been kind of sidelined or not unpacked properly from the shop move well over a year ago. Things that are now starting to migrate into their final homes. I've uncovered quite a few things. Quite a few sort of shameful unfinished objects, abandoned projects, and a little bit of a stash. Now this probably sounds like a bit of a joke because most normal people have quite a sizable fabric stash, and I am not one to judge in that scenario. I think having a big fabric stash is cool, and prior to having this business I definitely had a decent stash. However, it is one of my personal rules that I don't have a fabric stash now because I have a shop full of fabric, so there is no good reason for me to be stashing fabric. If I'm not sewing with it, it should be selling, so I shouldn't be squirreling it off the shelves. That's bad business, Jenny. However, in like the last 12 months I have built up a few pieces that are kind of stashed to one side and I really need to get them worked through, and they've started to irritate me a little bit that they're sat there. So yeah, as sort of part of this sorting out, clearing up, getting organised phase, I think that this autumn I'm really going to spend some time working on using up some pieces and finishing off some projects that are semi-started. I'm sure there'll be a few new things in there as well, but those are my intentions at the moment, so I'm not going to come at you with a whole heap of new stuff. And I do apologise in advance. The majority of these fabrics are no longer available to buy, so please don't give me a hard time. Some of them are, and where they are, I will tag them appropriately. But yeah, it's a Wednesday morning. It's nice and quiet up here. I don't open until dinner time on a Wednesday, which is nice. Gives me time to do things like filming videos and some of the bits and pieces that I need to do whilst the shop is closed, so that's lovely. So yeah, let's get stuck in and take a look. Now, one thing about these sofas, they are a little bit grotty. I got them from a second-hand shop and I've done my best to clean them up, but they do look pretty beat. But they're mostly for the kids to sit on when they come in, so they don't have to be fancy, but they are really comfortable. Like if I had the time and the ability, I think I would be popping up here for a nap. Okay, so let's start off with a couple of unfinished objects. I've got some part completed and just some cut out projects here. I have found that I'm actually pretty good at cutting things out. In terms of that is one activity that's pretty easy to squeeze into my working day. I can generally spread out a pattern on the cutting table downstairs and get something cut out, and yeah, that's great, but you actually have to sew it up at some point rather than just leaving it cut. So I do end up with a few bits and pieces packed to one side. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is this lovely Tilly and the Buttons Cleo Pinafore. And this is in 9.75 ounce denim in the lighter colourway. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned it on here before, but lightweight denims have a terrible tendency to fade down the centre fold, which is what this fabric had done. So I had to take the remainder of the bolt off sale, and I figured, you know, I think I might just make myself something from it. And it's very creased because it's been folded up in a box for some time. Now, I think I started this before Christmas last year, or possibly in January. It was last winter, and I did actually start filming a kind of sew-along style vlog with it, but when I looked back at the footage and I went to edit it, it was not my best work, so I got rid of that. And then I moved on to other things and the project got parked, blah, blah, blah. So this is the Cleo pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. I'll pop a picture in here. I've made this twice before, way back in the day, I think around 2018-19 when it first came out. It was a hugely viral pattern back then. I think I would say it was Tilly's kind of breakthrough pattern, if you will. I know she'd had a couple out before then, but Cleo really, really took the online sewing community by storm. Everyone was making a Cleo, incredibly beginner friendly, and for me, I think it really put Tilly on the map. I made one back then out of a blue, like a very pale blue stretch baby cord in the mini version, and then I think in about 2019 I made one in a red, like polyester cord, which was lovely as well. However, I never made a denim one, and the other two that I made were the mini length, and I don't have either of them anymore because they don't fit. They were a size smaller. I've gone up a size since then, so they have long since gone off to the charity shop. But I did really enjoy wearing a pinafore dress. So I figured, right, I could use this denim to make a fresh one. So I'd got as far as, it was all cut out, and I joined the front panels. I'm going to lift that up there just to see if you can see. I've been top stitching away in the lovely, I don't know if that's focusing, in the Gutterman denim thread. So that was coming together, and I had pinned the pocket on the front. It looks like I cut out, maybe I was planning on back pockets, I'm not sure at this stage. That's the back piece. That needs to be overlocked. It's like remembering where you were up to. Oh yeah, it must be back pockets because there's two. And I was planning on doing the facings in some leftover pieces of cotton lawn from a blouse that I'd made. In fact, I was wearing that blouse on my last live video. I think that will need some pretty serious interfacing to make it sturdy enough. I might change my mind about that being a facing. I'm not convinced, but I like that now. However, and one of the things that also did stop me a little bit in my tracks was that the prim dungaree buckles that I've used for my last set were no longer available. However, I do stock a different type of dungaree buckle now, and I might actually go with buttons for this one. But yeah, we've got the slit in the front there and the bar tack. I'd gone with the longer length for this one because I felt like that was a little bit more wearable for me now. But yeah, I used to wear a lot of leggings. I don't really wear leggings anymore. It's funny how things change, isn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to having this one in the wardrobe. I think it'll get quite a bit of wear, tights and long sleeve tops, jersey tops, which we'll come on to in a minute. So yeah, that one is actually really, by the time I get stuck into that, I could probably finish it in like an afternoon. It's not far off at all. And sometimes you just think, what was I thinking? But priorities change, don't they? And you move on. I need this tea this morning. Tired today, probably tell. Okay, another item which I have cut out, and I'm just looking here because I've got everything stacked up next to me, and I think these are actually like my scraps and offcuts rather than the actual item itself, is the Oxbow tote. So I made the larger size of the Oxbow totes. I'll pop a picture in here by Noodlehead, like in the weekend bag size. a little while ago now, much earlier this year, and that's been sort of floating around in the shop as a display item for some time. And yeah, at the time I was kind of testing the fabric quantities for the purple package that I did for the Oxbow tote. And I cut out both the large size and the small size because I kind of wanted to prove to myself that the fabric quantities that I'd given for the kit would actually do both, and they did. So I still have all of the pieces in a kind of jumble like this for the smaller size. So I think what I had intended on doing, and I'll literally have to decipher my own intentions, was to do the reverse of the large bag. So on the large bag, I had used the Aztec cotton canvas for the main part of the panel of the bag. And then I was using the red, so creased cotton canvas for the front pocket. Whereas with the smaller version, I had decided to reverse that and do it that way around. So that's why we've got those pieces cut like that. And then I've got the smaller, the lining pieces and all of the fusible fleece. Everything is cut, ready to go. And I'd even got straps made up. So again, kind of semi underway. That's the main strap for that one. I don't know why I've got that. I don't know. Sometimes, do you ever just look back and think, what was I thinking? I have no idea. So this would be a perfect sort of little sister to the tote that I've got already. This is interfacing for the lining pieces. Honestly, is anyone else like this, or is it just me? So that is the Oxbow, and yeah, I think that'll be a nice little project, maybe one weekend to sit down and complete. There's a little bit more thinking involved with a bag, isn't there? So I don't think that'll be quite as quick as a Pinafore, but the two together will be very wearable. Okay, another project which I have cut out. I actually only cut out on Friday, so this isn't too shameful, but whilst I have been sorting through some of those boxes and bags, I did come across quite a lot of white cotton jersey. And I will be honest with you, with stocking jersey fabric, quite often when you unroll the bolts, you tend to find that there's marks or faults and that kind of thing. It's a normal part of the fabric business. You can't really send back a bolt of fabric if there's a smudge on a piece. So quite often I end up with sort of seconds, if you will, and I tend to sort of put those to one side because I can give them a wash and use them myself. So at some point I have washed a good length of white cotton jersey and put it to one side. So I pulled that out on Friday and I have just cut out, and again this is very creased, I've just cut out the Tilly and the Buttons Tabitha Tee shirt because now it's getting that little bit cooler. My stash of Helen's Closet Jackson tees is probably ready to be packed away, and I've sort of got a hankering for some longer sleeved t-shirts in my life. And what better way than to put a few basic colours in. So starting with a white. I love a white t-shirt with denim. Like, I think it's just such a classic look. I'm wearing jeans a lot at the moment, so that's going to be a super useful wardrobe buildery type piece, and I'll be able to put most of that together on the overlocker. And again, that's going to go well with the Pinafore dress. So I feel that that is my specialism, is wearable basics for a capsule wardrobe. So that's the Tabitha. Now we are on to a little stack of fabric this is the little stash that I was talking about. There are a couple of other items, but they're not going to get sewn up anytime soon. So I'll walk you through like my kind of loose plans for those. If you have been watching this channel for a long time, I do apologise in advance. You've probably seen a few of these on a few occasions, because I know that there's one or two here that have been rattling on through a couple of plans vlogs that have just never been made up, and I really don't know why, because I love them, I want them to be sewn, but there's always something else that seems to come in and take priority. So apologies in advance if we've talked about this before, but you know what, this is real life, isn't it? Nobody really sits down, oh well, I mean, some people probably do, let me know if you do, sort of, and writes a perfectly executed plan and list and sticks to it and moves on and does it again. Like, there's always things, plans change and things move, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself about that. Oh, lovely. Okay, so first up is this beautiful length of Dashwood Studios Party Spot Rayon. Now, most people, I feel, will be familiar with this fabric line. It's quite a popular one in the sewing community. However, this is a new colourway, and to my knowledge, I don't think this is out in the shops yet, and I think I know that because I pre-ordered it. And the lovely fabric rep that represents Dashwood visited in the summer, and I pre-ordered these autumnal shades of this gorgeous rayon. And I'm just gonna hold it up there. You can see that the base of this fabric is just the most gorgeous lilac, and then we've got this little spotty confetti kind of design on top. It's beautiful. All I have to say. However, the lovely rep that came to show me these, Lizzie, got in touch with me about a week after she'd been and said, we have some sort of sample lengths of this fabric to send out to people that would like to make a garment. Do you want some? And I know it's your colour. So I was like, very much yes. So I do actually need to get on with turning this into something as a sample, because this was gifted, I guess. That's the first time anybody's ever gifted me anything. So yeah, this is beautiful. I've got 3 meters. I don't really know what to do with it. At first, I thought it would make a lovely long sleeve Lyra dress, but I don't think there's enough there for that. And I would rather make something different than something that I've made before. I'd rather try something else. So I'm kind of open to suggestion. I think it needs to be a dress, definitely, but I'm just not sure what. Something very wearable that I can pop on for work, ideally with a long sleeve that would go under a cardigan. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you've got any smart ideas. I think maybe one of the Nina Lee patterns might be worth a look. I don't know, I just can't make my mind up. But I can't procrastinate on it forever. It needs to be something. And it's too gorgeous to leave sat there, and it was very kind of them to give it to me, so I really should sew it up. Next up, this one has definitely been in last year's autumn sewing plans, is this beautiful 3 meter piece of Blackwatch Tartan. Now this is a polyviscose blend, and I love this. So I think at the time when I cut this, I was heavily inspired by the blogger and influencer Lydia Elise Millen. If you follow her, I'll pop a tag below. And she just wears the most classic sort of English styles, a lot of shirt dresses. Shirt dresses are my jam. So I cut and washed 3 meters of this, really with the intention of making a shirt dress. I wanted to remake Simplicity 8014, which I've made before in terracotta corduroy. However, I then kind of got cold feet over that and thought maybe I should make some trousers, and then it ended up getting parked for one thing and another. But the season has come back round, and I think I actually do just really prefer my original plan of a shirt dress, because I think that would just be so classic. Just so elegant, lovely with tights, boots, that kind of thing. Just super smart and tidy. So that's the Blackwatch, and that at least has a firm plan. And this still is available in stock. Oh, get out. Let's finish off this cup of tea. Definitely waffling this morning. But I thought I'll come straight in and get this filmed first thing, and then I've definitely done it. So I've got a couple of pieces of jersey here. And these are both out of stock lines. And the first one of which I think is about 2 years old. So fair warning, this isn't available for purchase anymore. And when I got it in, it did sell really, really quickly. And I wished I could have got some more, but I couldn't. And I feel like when I show it to you, you're going to be like, oh. But it's gorgeous. It's a viscose jersey. And there's not very much here because it really was just the last of the roll. And at that point, it probably would have become a remnant, but I think I just thought, you know what, I'm having that. So can you see this autumnal leaf print? Oh, it's just beautiful. It's on this very nice sort of cool, soft grey base. Really good stretch there. So I don't think there's a lot. I can't remember how much there is. I really need to measure it. Where are we at here? Selvage to selvage. That looks like about 75 centimetres. I'd say there's probably just under, maybe 60, probably just under 1.5 meters there. Oh, it's gorgeous. The drape on that. So my options are going to be limited for what I can actually do with that because, yeah, it's not the biggest of pieces, so it's not enough for a dress, sadly, because it would be a beautiful dress. But it would make a lovely top, wouldn't it? Even just a slim fitting t-shirt or a roll neck. I know Sew Over It have just brought out a roll neck add-on for one of their t-shirts, or something like the Freya. But again, I'm trying to just branch out a little bit away from just doing Tilly and Sew Over It patterns, so maybe I can think of something else. Oh, it's fluff. I thought that was a spider there. But yeah, beautiful. And then on a very similar vein, I've got this piece of cotton jersey, which was unloved and left on the bolt from last year. And again, just lovely. Hoping those colours are showing up okay. This is like a burgundy kind of wine base. I think this was Winter Florals, possibly, called this one. You can see it's got a small floral design. Now on here, again, that looks to me like about 1.5 meters of my trained eye. I think I can say that my eye is trained in this circumstance. So yeah, again, I think another top. These are the kind of things that I need for my wardrobe. I don't have many long sleeve tops, and I'm getting more and more these days about adding good wearable separates to the wardrobe. So a few more autumnal, wintry long sleeve tops are definitely required, and that's very much my kind of colour. So that's that one. Then I have, it just keeps going. I have this piece of 11-ounce denim. Now then, I first cut this for myself back when I was in the old shop. So I know this has been rattling around for a while. This has been pre-washed, and I quite foolishly left it in the bottom of the washing machine for a while before I got a chance to hang it out to dry, and it's got those sort of white crease marks on it where the dye has shifted round. I don't know if that can be fixed. If anybody's got any tips to that bin, please do let me know. So technically it does look a bit beat. I think with a bit of wearing and a bit of washing, it will probably settle down just fine, but there are some quite obvious marks in it. But yeah, this is 11-ounce denim. I don't have this in stock anymore, but I do have 12-ounce, which is very similar. And the 12-ounce is quite a vibrant indigo colour. But this is a proper denim. This is quite stiff, quite rigid, which is nice. It's got a good bit of body to it, so it's like the perfect kind of weight for things like jeans and denim jackets, that kind of thing. I had cut this very much with the intention of making jeans. And I was going to make myself the Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans. And I decided to twirl that pattern by making some shorts first, incidentally in the same denim as the Pinafore. But the fit of those shorts, when they fit, they fit beautifully. When they don't fit, they're quite uncomfortable. And by that, I mean, it very much just depends on where my body is at on a particular day. And I will be honest, in the last year or so, I've put a little bit of weight on, not like a lot, but like enough where the idea of fitting jeans just doesn't really appeal to me at the moment. Because I do want to lose a little bit of that weight. You know, a lot of that has come on sort of through stress and through work and shop moves and things. And I kind of fully expect that to actually settle down at some point and come back off. That's a whole separate story. But so the idea is kind of sizing jeans at the minute. I don't know if I feel like I want to bother, but at the same time, I do wear a lot of jeans and I actually enjoy sewing denim. So maybe I should just crack on and do it. So yeah, there is a dawn, but then I do keep looking at the closet core. Is it the Morgan? Not the Morgans. What's the other one? The more boyfriend fit ones. Yeah, it is the Morgans, isn't it? The ginger jeans are the other ones. Either one of them. I do keep looking at that. I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just give that a go and just call it a wearable toile. Or I could size up the dawns. I don't know. I'm undecided, and that's why it's in the pile, which is no good. Just onto the last mouthful here, and I think I've got a nice thread off that denim in there. Smashing. Okay. These are the last two pieces that I'm going to show you. I have actually just remembered that there's a couple of things in a box in the storeroom, which I should have brought into this video, a couple of UFOs, but it's too late now. There's a top, which is also cut out. Oh, what am I like? Okay. This one has definitely been in a video in the past. This is my silver wool blend suiting. I think this is still on the shelf downstairs. It's one of the ones that I just repeat and repeat because I think it's a lovely fabric. And again, this one is pre-washed and ready to go. I think so. Yeah, it smells of fairy laundry powder. I love fairy. But my intention was, and still is, to make some trousers in this one. Don't know which pattern now because that ebbs and flows over time. But I have a lovely pair of Sew Over It Nina trousers that I adore. I was wearing them on last week's live. I could just redo them, or I could go with something different. I do like to try different patterns, so those will be trousers. And finally, in this little lineup, I have shown you this one before. This is a huge big lump of silver Alpine Fleece, so it's fluffy on this side and sweatshirty on this side. This is going to be lounge wear. This is pre-washed and ready to go. This does technically have a little fault on it. I know I've covered this in a previous video. I think it could even have been my spring plans. And this is what I mean. These things just need sorting out and doing. Plus, it's getting chilly now. We haven't lit the log burner yet at home, but I've bought the logs. It's like ready and waiting. It's getting cooler. Very much in an evening now, sort of getting the knitting out and cozying up with the cat. So I want a comfy lounge set that I can throw on for chilling out on evenings and Sundays and Mondays, that kind of thing. And it won't take long to whiz up in something like this. So that is the plan for that one. I think that's enough prattling on. There's probably only so much, now the tea is gone, of my chat that you can take. I just wanted to say a huge thank you as well to everybody who left a comment on my last Cuppa in a Chat kind of update vlog. I was blown away by your response to that, so it really does mean the world. Thank you so much. I am going to go off now and get this lot cleared up because it's all strewn everywhere, and actually get to do a little bit of work on, I'm currently sewing the sample for the next purple package, which will be announced in probably about a week's time. So that's really, really close. I need to finish off my sample sewing for that. So whilst I've got an hour or two of quiet, that's what I'm going to go and do. So thank you for watching. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think I should do with the party spot, if you've got any suggestions for maybe jeans patterns. Very pear-shaped, so it's all on the hips and the tummy. Very like full tummy friendly would be good. And yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favourites are. You're probably going to be sat there thinking that is not a fabric stash, Jenny, at all. And I know it isn't, but remember, I have an entire shop full of fabric, so I don't need a stash. I need to get that sewn up. So, thank you for watching. Have a lovely day, and I will see you soon. Take care, happy sewing, and bye-bye.